Hello, everyone. Hi, Possum. Hi, Ruby. It's been how long? How long has it been since we played this lovely, lovely game? Hello. It's... What? How long has it been? It's been like... months? Ages? A decade? A lifetime? Who knows how long? I can look it up. It has been so long. We're back with, by popular demand of a single rat. We're back doing Please Be Happy. We're gonna do Juliet's Juliet's route. Jeez, rats on the mind. Damn. Can't get the rats out of my mind. Anyways. We're back with Please Be Happy doing our favorite Miho things. Favorite Fox Grumio things. I love VC Face's very sensitive expression tracking. Where tilting my head does this. I turn my head up, doesn't make me angry still. Great. Well, anyways, yes, we must read Juliet route, even though I am dreading.
Already? Okay,
I'm dreading
let
the
me grab my keys.
What is it? The part where we have to forget. Where Aspen has to forget us. Now, where is this it? Did I save? Did I make a save when the chapter ended? I don't think I did on this laptop. Did I even make a save when the chapter ended? I don't think I did. This is the middle of the chapter. So, let's just skip through chapter 2. This is great. I love not having saved in good places. Any minute now. I really thought I would have made a chapter 3 save, but I guess I didn't. Made a save by the choice, but you know, where's the fun just going straight to the choice, right? Where's the foreplay? Where's the foreplay? Oh, there it is. Can I go back?
Have a nice day.
Oh. Here we are. Chapter 3. Old scars and new friends. Get out of your menu. Alright, chapter 3. An actual proper start, with expressions being annoying and too sensitive.
Have a nice day.
Thanks! You too!
I'm not angry, VC Face. Stop making me angry. The kind old man takes his books under his arm and shuffles out of the library. A whoosh of cool air passes over me as the door opens and shuts.
Whew. Finally time for a break.
No one else waiting to be helped. I glance around at the dozen or so people milling about before plopping myself down onto the cushion that Juliet set up for me behind the desk. Who knew that working would be so much work? Such hard work. Who would have thought that working would be such the amount of work? These past few weeks as I started helping out at the library have been a bit of a blur. There's always so much to do. Hi, Mouse. It's Mimo. It's Mimo. It's Mimo. It's our girl Mimo. At least most of it's pretty easy. Like straightening out furniture or putting things away when they get left out. I don't know what the big deal is. I think it looks better when it's a little messy. But that's what Juliet asked me to do, so I do it. Talking to patrons. Aspen taught me that word. Patrons. Great. It's getting easier as well. The first few times someone came up to me for help, I was so nervous that I could barely speak. Oh. You know, I should have paid. I should have checked that out. I'm dumb. I forgot. I had so much. I had so much confidence that it was the full thing. I was wrong. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm dumb. 6, 15, 11, 0. Studio mode, you're fucking useless. Open studio mode, yes. This will make it easier. No, it's not. It's just fucking just change the same. It's okay. Yes. Mimo. Our girl Mimo. Is it a different aspect ratio than... I guess it's a slightly different aspect ratio than what I had set the boundary for. Your option res. It is a different one. 1280 720. Bigger. 1280 720. That's small. Never mind, let's go back to the other one. 16:9 at what hurts? I don't fucking know. This hurts. What hurts? Everything hurts. That's your question. What does hurt? Everything hurts. I also realized there is a PC happy setting I have existing. I could use that instead, but no, I didn't. I assumed this was the correct size already. I was wrong. Let's just use the PC happy preset. Hopping it hurts is a freak. Oh shit! I forgot. Gush counter. Almost forgot the gush counter. I'm very dumb. I am very dumb. And I need to get water for hydrates and stuff. I'll be back in a quick minute. Possum! Why? Possum. Possum. Why? How many is that? I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's enough slices! I might need to put a... I'm gonna put a limit on that eventually, but for now, enjoy. Mouse is here too. Mouse does love the hydration. Do you like the nice hydration redeem? Tits? Hydration tits? That just chucks water at my face? Ow. Thanks for the head pats. Thank you, Possum. Let's see, that's 11 hydrates? Okay. There you go, all 11 hydrates, all done. I hope you liked that. All the hydrates, even though freaking VC face is making me look angry, I'm not. I appreciate you, thanks for watering the streamer. As you should. Maybe. I'll set it up right now then. I'll set that up now, but I'm watching you. I'm watching you, Mouse and Possum. I'm watching you. Oops, where is hydrate? Here it is. Limit per stream. Limit and cooldown. Per person, 5 per person. There we go. Oh, hunky-dory. Now, where were we once I opened Stream Manager on my PC? There, on my other monitor screen. That there, so I can see my face. Alright. Also, reset position, because I moved away. Oh no, the immersion! The immersion, it's gone! The first time someone came up to me for help, I was so nervous that I could barely speak. There's so much to remember and still so much to learn. I still don't like talking to people in general, but it feels easier now. I get a little anxious when I see someone walking up to the counter, but it's not too bad. Of course, everyone who comes up thinks it's my first day there. Even though I've started to recognize some of the regulars, they never recognize me. Atsuma's the only one who comes by every day. What I didn't expect was that the hardest part will be checking out books to people. There's a sheet of paper with a bunch of little boxes in them, and I'm supposed to write names of each person in the books they're taking. I just have to copy the letters by hand each time. It takes me a while if someone has a lot of books, or one with really long titles. Then it takes me even longer. Sometimes people get a little impatient, but I'm going as fast as I can. Either way, it makes the days go by faster. I wouldn't really call it fun, but I don't hate it either. Every bit of money that I earned rather than stole feels surprisingly good. At least I don't have to worry about someone taking it back. Unless, Juliet's being really weird and rude and wants to take our money. Just won't do that. Just too nice. I hear the front door open again and look up to greet the new person, like Juliet taught me. It turns out to be a familiar face. My nerves settle a little as the sight of her. My nerves settling a little as at the sight. That's not English. At the sight of her. I know that didn't look right to me. I know that didn't sound right.
Hey, Miho. Hi, Aspen.
It's our girl. Except not really this time, sadly. Not this time. I'm sad. I'm sad. Oops! Sometimes I forget I'm not supposed to be out here.
Hi, Aspen.
Say it again, but quieter. She's a bean. A good bean. She comes up to the desk and sets down a couple books that she just checked out a few days ago.
Whoa. Done already? One of them I simply couldn't put down because I had to know how the story ends. I was worried it would have a sad conclusion, but the ghost girl becomes real and gets to stay with her girlfriend, and they all live happily ever after.
What a good story. Wait a minute! Wait a fucking minute! Heyo! Wait a minute! Wait a gosh darn minute! Wait a minute! That sounds familiar! I like playing them out of order is great because I missed that completely the first time I played this. Wait a- what the fuck? Hey yo, Paustin, what the fuck? Hey yo, wait a minute. That looks like a different game. What the fuck? There's a Heart of the Woods Easter egg here. What the fuck? What the fuck? Hey yo. These thinks I'm angry, but I'm not.
The other book was unreadable, unfortunately. I won't be trying that author again.
What a shame, what a shame.
That's too bad.
I can't get over.
We can get rid of this one.
I can't get over the fucking Heart of the Woods Easter egg that just clicked after like 2 minutes, like after like a half a minute of like, that sounds like a nice story. I'd like to know about that story. Wait a minute. How do you know about the story? I played it a while ago. What the heck?
Well, it's not that terrible. I'm sure
There we
someone
go,
out there could
Possum.
enjoy it, just not me.
That's the game, Possum. That's the game. Don't worry, Mouse. Don't worry. It's fine. Lurking's paw. We love lurkers.
If you say so.
Okay, out of the woods. It seems to me like Aspen doesn't like a book. If Aspen doesn't like a book, then that book must be really, really bad. Maybe I'll ask Juliet about it anyways. Now, though, I start copying the titles down into the returns sheet, while Aspen goes off to find new books. She comes back right as I'm finishing up, with a small stack in her hands.
You find books as fast as you finish them.
If only. I knew exactly what I was looking for this time.
Ooh. She hands me the pile and I begin to write the names down. I can feel her watching me as my hands make each slow line.
Say, Miho.
Yes? Finish the letter I'm working on before I can pay attention to Aspen.
Yeah?
Yes?
Have you,
She wrings her hands, looking like she's not sure how to ask her question. Aspen seems to think a lot before she speaks, so I've learned that sometimes it's easier to just make her spit it out.
Just say it. I don't mind.
Sure enough, her eyes widen, but she stops fidgeting.
Have you ever considered learning to read and write? It would probably save you quite a bit of time.
I look down at the mess of scribbles on the paper in front of me. Even though I wrote them, they don't mean anything to me. Juliet never seems to have an issue, though, so it's good enough for me.
Not really. I've gotten by fine without it so far.
Oh, come on. You can't keep using that excuse for everything. You've been here for more than a month now.
I just realized we're not gonna get the Fox in the Grove book. Aw, I'm gonna miss. That's so sad.
Well...
That's so sad. He does have a point there. I told myself so many times that I was going to stop letting my past define me, but still, reading and writing? It would be useful, it's true. With so many letters, though, it seems like a lot of work. I'm already doing a lot of work as is.
I don't even know how to start doing that.
I'd be happy to help you, and I'm sure Juliet would too. She'd be delighted if you picked it up.
Her usual quiet voice starts to raise, only adding to my doubt.
I'll think about it, I guess.
No, I won't take no for an answer. I'll do some research when I get home and bring some materials later. We can make a lesson plan and a schedule and...
Whoa. Don't I get any say in this?
Apparently not.
You didn't say no, and that's enough for me.
We all know someone like that, don't we?
That isn't what I came here to talk to you about.
Yeah, and what you come to contact about?
Aren't you here to get books?
Words.
Right, that too. But anyway...
Asta reaches into her purse and pulls out a slightly crumpled flyer, which she hands to me, looking at the glossy cover. It's covered in pictures of little vases and statues and other old-looking things.
There's an exhibition at Te Papa about Korean history and culture, for a limited time only.
I've got this chapter. I've got this chapter is the chapter we learn about... I forgot his name. I forgot their name. What's their name again? I don't fucking know. About Miho's person. That reached out. Why isn't this voiced? I thought you might be interested in seeing it.
An exhibit at your dad?
Te papa. Te papa, yes, it's your father.
No, it's our biggest museum. Te Papa is one of the most interesting places in Wellington, perhaps even New Zealand as a whole.
Fun. Class
You can
museum.
enter for free, so that isn't a concern. Look, there's even a map of how to get there on the back.
Wow, convenient. How convenient. After I flip the flyer over, she points at a map of Wellington that's very similar to the one I used on my first day here.
This is the Bell House, so you just go up this road, turn here, then here.
I nod as she explains, but it isn't really necessary. I may not be able to read, but I can at least use a map.
Anyway, it's only open when I'm at work, so I won't be able to join you. But I imagine you might appreciate having some time to yourself too.
Now that you mention it... yeah...
It's been a long time since I've really had a moment to myself. Other than when I go to bed, I'm always around Aspen or Juliet or the patrons of the library. That's another big change in me. I'm noticing them more and more these days.
I'll check it out. Thanks. Maybe they'll have something that can help me find my person.
Aspen smiles, but it's a thin smile. She's once again holding back from saying something. This time, however, she doesn't give me a chance to make her say it.
Perhaps, yes. Right, well, I need to get back to work. My break will be over soon. I just wanted to pick these up so I have something to read during any downtime at my shift.
Yes, reading. We love reading. It's good.
I'll see you this evening after I look up some reading resources. Tell Juliet I said hello.
Will do. Bye!
Bye, Aspen. We'll miss you. With a smile, Aspen blows a kiss, then quickly spins around and heads out the door, leaving me standing about with the flyer in my hands. But without any patrons waiting around, I take a closer look at some of the artifacts on the pages. Most are cracked and worn with age, but some still have a little color to them. A couple have writing on them that I can't tell I can tell is a different language from the one I've been getting used to copying here. I can't read. It's great. We both can't read. Great. Both Miho and I cannot read. It's amazing. You're just like me for real. In a way, they seem kind of familiar. Not just familiar, but nostalgic. Like they're related to a memory that's just out of reach. I don't know if it'll bring me any answers, but maybe there'll be something interesting to see.
Hiya, I've got these to check out, please.
I quickly tuck the pamphlet into one of my pockets, turning to greet the young boy eagerly waiting at the counter with several books to check out.
You got it!
Bigger guns, you got it! I lift the first book off the stack and slowly begin my process. Maybe Aspen's lesson won't be so bad after all. Maybe. We'll find out. Closing time finally comes around. The patrons slowly trickle out. Some of them linger for a while, making their final selections before bringing them up to the counter. Fortunately, Juliet's here to help out, or it'd take me all night to get through the line of people waiting.
Thank you very much, Miss Callahan. We'll see you next time.
I can't talk either. Line.
Oh, Dottie. Glad to see you're still reading Pullman. Only one left to go in the series.
Yay, one left in the series.
Bye-bye, Abdul. Bye-bye, Jamar.
In the time it takes me to finish writing down one person's checkouts, Juliet can get through 5. She even knows everyone by name, as well as their reading habits. That always impresses me. How does she keep track of them all? We finally managed to get through. Everyone, a sigh of relief escaping as the last patron heads out.
Oh, thank you.
My ears prick up at the sound of Aspen's voice as the patron holds the door open for her.
Sorry, we're closed.
Little shit. Aspen hesitates for a moment as she walks up to the desk, but then she laughs. I'll watch that again. Emo LSE.
Sorry, we're closed.
Look at her go. Look at her hesitate.
You almost had me for a moment.
Is it a gush? I'm gonna count that as a gush. A nice Aspen gush. I collapse onto my cushion while Juliet pulls everything away under the desk. Puts everything away, not pulls.
Excellent work today, Miho. You're getting better and better.
Am I? It doesn't really feel like it.
It can be hard to notice your own progress sometimes, but I promise it's there.
And it's only going to get better. Look what I brought.
She raps her knuckles against the pile of thin books she brought with her. There's also a small bag in it that rattles while she moves it. Ooh, pencils.
Are those?
Yes, they're the phonic books I said I'd bring by.
Phonics.
Phonics? Why, Miho? Have you decided to learn to read?
Not by choice.
Well, Aspen decided for me, but I guess so.
I pick up one of the books from Aspen's pile. The words on it are big and written in a very simple style. And so are the pictures that go along with it. I spent enough time in the library now to recognize that these kind of books are meant for little kids. But I guess that's what I need, isn't it? It's embarrassing, but maybe I can just use that as a motivation to learn faster. If I end up hating it, I could just quit. Like always, I try to have the option of running away from something I don't like. Still holding the book, I look up to see Juliet and Aspen both watching me, waiting to see what I'll say. I take a deep breath and then smile.
So, how do I start?
Both of them break into a grin as well.
I have just the thing. Come with me.
Okay. Whoop. You're pulled away by Aspen. Whoopies. And we're gone. Aspen's so eager that she barely waits for Juliet as I step out from the counter before leading us to a table beside the aisle of books. Guessing that I'll be here for a while, I pull up a seat while a curious Juliet hovers over my shoulder. She sits down and begins unpacking the bag she brought in onto the table. Turning out to be a bunch of pens and pencils. She hands me one before placing a small workbook in front of me.
Let's start with the alphabet. Juliet, would you mind? Your handwriting is much better than mine.
Gladly.
Realizing she's going to be a part of this, she quickly takes a seat to my other side, and selects a sleek black pen. Opening the book, she brings her pen to one of the blank pages.
So, to begin with, this is the letter A.
The two of them take turns going through the different letters of the alphabet and showing me how to write them. Although I have a hard time remembering which is which, I pick up the writing part pretty fast, since I've had a lot of experience at work already. A is for ah! That's so cute. B is for blushing, at cute woman. B is for crushing, on cute woman. These for degenerate thoughts about cute women. Each of them writes an example letter at the top of my page first, before I take my turn to try it. F is for F is for M is for milk. Juliet's handwriting is very precise and clean. It reminds me of something I've seen on a advertisement or book. Aspen's, on the other hand, is almost as messy as mine. Sometimes I'm not sure she's even writing the same letter as Juliet and I. After we get through the whole alphabet, they quiz me by holding up cards with different letters and asking me to name them. I get a lot of them wrong, but I do get a lot of them right too. Well, Aspen finally calls it quits for the night. I'm a little bit disappointed.
So, how do you feel? I think you made very good progress for this being your first night.
Indeed. You should be proud of yourself, Miho.
I can't keep a little smile. I can't keep a little smile off my face. Maybe I am a little proud.
It was more fun than I thought it'd be. It was tough at first, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
You certainly are.
Yee. Progress.
Yes, if you work on it a little bit each night, I'm sure you'll make great progress.
The workbook that Aspen gave me already has a few pages complete because of how fast we were going.
Do you think I could learn to read by the end of this week?
No. The look on the two in the exchange tells me my answer.
Well,
If we're lucky, maybe. Maybe we're lucky enough. Possible, but I doubt that.
Not that quickly, I'm afraid. Even for the fastest learners, it still takes a few months to make much progress in reading. Going by how quickly you picked this much up, though, I think you'll do just fine.
Oh, I see.
Sad. I've been expecting this to take a few nights at most, but months? That's a lot longer than I was that's a lot longer than I was anticipating. I must look disappointed because Aspen frowns and leans forward.
don't worry, I'm sure that time will fly by. As long as you're getting a little better every day, you'll be able to notice the results soon. Here, why don't you try this?
Aspen gets up from the desk and maneuvers behind me, putting her hands on top of mine. It's a little shaky, and I notice her face is red, and she makes a point not to look at me. That's lewd, that's lewd! Aspen, that's lewd! Hand holding? I almost jerk it away out of instinct, but keep my cool instead. I'm not used to people touching me. But I know that with Aspen, it's just a friendly gesture. Friendly. Friendly, yes, friendly.
Here, follow these lines.
Just friendly. Nothing else. She gently guides my hand up and down across the paper, slowly forming the letters on the page with me. After 4 letters, she stops and scurries back to her chair. Juliet's snort of amusement from my side only confuses me further.
Can you read what that says?
I look down. The words on the page look familiar. I squeeze my eyes shut, picturing the cards that they were holding up, and what each letter sounded like. Joe, I realize it's my own name. Juliet and Aspen both clapped excitement, a blush forming on my cheeks.
Yes!
You did it!
I still can't shake the feeling that it's kind of embarrassing to have them cheer for me for something so simple. Looking down at the paper with my name on it, though, I have to smile a little. It's the first time I've written my own name, even if I did have Aspen's help. It's the first time I've read it myself, too. I stare at it intently, committing the shape of those letters and the motion to make them in my memory. I've used so many names in my life, but for some reason, this one feels a bit special. Just for good measure, I'll write it down a few more times to practice. Each time it gets a little bit less shaky and more legible.
Thank you. Seriously.
Even if this isn't my idea to start with, it feels like a new milestone in my life already. The start of something else that's new, I can add that to my list.
It's our pleasure.
Right. Especially since, I did kind of force you into it.
It's okay. Turns out I need people to make me do stuff sometimes.
I'm certainly good at that. You'll have to wait until tomorrow for more, though. I've already stayed a bit too late as it is.
Oh my, I hadn't even noticed the time. It sure did fly by, didn't it?
As she starts to get up to leave, Juliet and I take to our feet as well. Before realizing it, I let out a yawn.
I'll leave all this stuff with you, Miho, so you can study at your own pace. I'll try to come by at nights as well to help you practice.
And you're always welcome to ask me for advice too.
Thanks. I'm gonna practice during work too, when I don't have anything else to do.
That sounds wonderful. Good night, you two. Thanks for having me over.
Bye, Aspen!
Bye, Aspen.
Good night, Aspen. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye. With her trademark smile and wave, Aspen leaves the library. The two of us watch her go as she heads out into the night's darkness outside.
I imagine you must be tired too, right?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I really am.
My hands are sore from all the writing, and my palm is colored gray with the smeared pencil, lead, and ink.
Can't believe that wore me out.
You had a full day of work too. You should get some rest. I'll finish cleaning up and preparing for tomorrow.
Are you sure? I didn't really do many of my chores today.
I'm certain. Go on, go to bed.
Secretly glad to be heading to bed rather than doing more work, I start to head out. As I look back, Juliet playfully waves me out the room.
Good night. And thanks again.
You're always welcome, Miho. Have a good night.
With a pause for another yawn, I stretch and head up the stairs. I'm going to sleep well tonight. As I lie in bed and wait for sleep to take me, I reflect on my day like always. Wait, is this the chapter? Wait, this is a sad chapter, isn't it? I just realized that this is the sad chapter, isn't it? Let me just ignore my saves real quick and just hit a save here. It is. It is. It fucking is! It is! Fuck. God fucking damn it. God damn it. It is the sad chapter. I lie in bed and wait for sleep to take me. I reflect on my day like always. Today was a good day. I accomplished a lot, and I feel proud of myself. I can tell that Juliet and Aspen are proud of me too. Last take isn't getting used to. It still weirds me out to think that people care about me, that they think of me even when I'm not around them. I kind of regret not going straight to the choice. I regret not doing this, but I'm committed. I'm committed to this. I'm not no turning back now. No matter how sad it's gonna be. Smile through the pain. Smile through the pain. They're excited for me about things that don't affect them. It's weird, but in a good way. Now that I think about it, it's been a while since I had a bad day. The shock and uneasiness of having a safe place to live and a stable life have worn off. And my daily routine has become just that. A routine. I thought I'd never get used to things like this. That they'd never be real for me. But it turns out I was wrong. Rather than constantly overthink everything, I've gotten better at just going with the flow. I think that's something to be proud of too. Going onto my side, I look around my room. It hasn't changed too much since I moved in, but it still feels distinctly mine. This isn't just a space that I happen to be in. Smiling, I close my eyes and roll on to my other side. Just when I did, when did I become so sentimental? It's hard to say, but maybe it's okay. Maybe that's okay too. I don't mind who I am right now, and my friends don't either. That's enough for me. With peaceful thoughts like that drifting through my mind, I also drift off to sleep. Work's been quiet today. With only a handful of patrons coming in at all, the few still here keep to themselves, quietly reading and browsing the aisles. I'd normally be bored on a day like this. It's a good thing that I have something new to keep me occupied during my downtime then. A few of the worksheets and books that Asmi gave me yesterday are spread out on the desk, all the way out of the way of our guests, but still where I can see them. Whenever I get a few minutes to myself, I practice writing letters or memorizing their sounds. When I have to write down titles that are being checked out, I paid more attention to what exactly I'm writing. I'm pleased to notice that it goes faster now than it did before. I still have a long way to go, but I can feel myself making progress with every word I finish. That sense of pride helps motivate me to keep trying. Even when I'm away from the desk, tidying things up or putting books away, I try to think about letters and words. It's nice to have something to focus on, rather than just trying to figure out ways to fill up hours. Just as I settle back down to work for a quick lunch, after a quick lunch, Juliet comes down from her room with a folding parasol in hand. With a calm nod of greeting, she walks up and joins me behind the desk.
Hey, you're up early.
Not yet. It's after the exhibition. After the exhibition, we still have time. We still have time to be happy. We have time to be happy until the exhibition's over. Then we start worrying.
Yes, I had some daylight errands to attend to. How are you doing, Mia?
Great. Check it out.
Hey, did someone just follow Rat? Hey yo, someone just follow Rat right then and there? Hey yo, Rat follow? Was it a rat follow?
Great. Check it out.
Hey yo, Rat follow? Where? Who just followed a rat? I sure one of my worksheets, which was really just a blank piece of paper on it. It was really just a blank piece of paper. On it, I've written my name over and over to practice. The first few, okay, most of them are fairly messy. I think I get the hang of it by the end of the page, though, and those ones are my most legible. I offer the paper to Juliet, who looks it over with a smile.
Great job! I'm very proud of you.
Thanks. I'm proud of me too. What kind of errands are you running? Need any help?
Not this time. I'm just making a couple deliveries that can't wait until the evening. Will you be alright here by yourself?
I'm dreading running errands with Juliet. I'm dreading running errands with Juliet. I am utterly scared of running errands with Juliet.
Yep. I think I've got the hang of everything by now.
I just like, oh no, do you need help? No, Mio, don't help Juliet. Don't do it. You'll regret it. Don't do it. I'm pretty used to handling my duties on my own. If there ever was a problem, it wouldn't be hard to go find Juliet, to get her help. That hasn't happened yet, thankfully.
Excellent. I know I've said it before, but you've been a great help around the library. I appreciate your hard work.
Oh, it's not that hard. Besides, it gives me something to do.
That's nice to hear. Don't forget to take some time for yourself, and have fun every now and then, though.
I think that's some advice that Juliet herself should follow more often, but I keep that opinion to myself.
I will. Actually, I'm going to the museum after this. Aspen told me there's an exhibit all about Korea going on there. So, I'm hoping maybe I'll learn something useful.
Useful?
Useful.
Yeah, like about my person.
Oh, I see.
Juliet gives me the same small smile that Aspen did when I mentioned my person yesterday. I know they think it's probably hopeless, but I can't give up. I don't understand how they don't understand. Since both of them are always talking about caring for those close to you and making lasting bonds. Still, Aspen and Juliet have both done too much for me to hold that against them.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck. You know you can always ask me for help if you need any.
I know. Thanks.
Anytime. I'm going to head out now, but I'll make sure to come back early enough for you to go to Te Papa.
Sounds good. I'll keep studying and working until then. Bye!
Goodbye.
Bye!
Mia.
Bye! As Juliet goes out the front door, she pops her parasol open to protect herself from the sun, then strolls out and joins the day's crowd. I stare at the now closed door, thinking. I wonder if either Aspen or Juliet have ever felt the same way about someone that I have about my person. It's a hard feeling to describe. It's something warm. I may have forgotten a lot over the years, but I've never forgotten their face or voice or the way they smiled. They smelled and smiled like charcoal and paint. All those things are too important to forget. It's kept me going my whole life. Been my entire reason for existence. I used to spend living in Wellington, anyway. Even with my new life here, I can't just abandon my old one. Not entirely. Maybe they just don't know how much it means to me. I couldn't blame them, since I've told them all about how little I cared about everything else. Maybe they think it's like a hobby. Something to pursue when I have nothing else to do. But even here in the library, surrounded by friends and busying myself with my job, not a day goes by where I don't think about that forest back in Korea and my person. It's okay if Aspen and Juliet don't understand. They don't need to. It's important to me, and that's all that matters. So far, they supported me in whatever I do. In fact, when I think about those two, I feel a similar way as when I think about my person. That warm, safe feeling. It's not exactly the same, but it's close. I don't think it's a coincidence. There have been lots of new feelings that I don't quite have words for. Like so many other parts of myself, I'm still figuring them out. That may take time, but I have plenty of it. Realizing that I've zoned out, I pull myself away from my thoughts and get back to focusing on my work and studying. I may have lots of time, but I need to make sure I use it well. Only an hour or two later, I look up from my work to see Juliet returning from her errands. Holding up her parasol, she soon joins me in the front desk again.
Hello again, Miho. I tried to hurry back so you'd have plenty of time at the museum. You can go ahead and head off. I can handle the library for the rest of the day.
Cool, thanks. I tried to clean up and do as much as I could before you got back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Enjoy yourself. You'll have to tell me all about it when you get back.
Will do.
I put away my study materials in my room, and then with a big thumbs up, Juliet, and leave the library. I'm not angry, VC face.
Fresh air again.
There's no place like home. At the museum, Miho finds more than she expected about Korea. Could be wrong. It's good to be wrong sometimes. The part, episode, chapter, apparently. That we just finished. Ready or not. Since I've been spending so much time inside since I started working, my walks and time outside are more refreshing than they used to be. The birds singing sound prettier, the scent of food wafting up from the town smells tastier, and I'll bet even the grass would feel softer if I was on my fox farm to feel it. It's been a long time since I've transformed, now that I think about it. I need to stay focused for today. With the museum as the only thing on my mind, I pick up my pace as I walk into Wellington, heading along the now familiar streets. I pass by the Bauhaus and glance inside, but I don't see Aspen. She mentioned she'd be working late today, so she must be in the back, or maybe on a break. In the back. I followed the directions she gave me yesterday until I reached the building that has to be my destination. It's big with parts that go off in all directions. Near the front, there are two sections flanking the entrance. One is round and tan, while the other is made of darker stone and looks more blocky. It's a bit intimidating, but seeing a few people heading in and out is reassuring. Taking a breath to steady myself, I stride on up. The entrance has a huge glass ceiling with glass doors that slide open when I approach. I don't even have to pay or strap or sneak in. Og.
Whoa.
The moment I step inside, I can safely say that I've never been in a place like this before. It looked big from outside, but from the inside it's huge!
How am I gonna find the Korean exhibit?
I don't know where to look first. Different paths lead to different types of displays. I can see floors and elevators going all the way to the top. Finley walks by me, following a big arrow that points deeper into the building, without any better idea as I decide to take the same route. I'm sure I could ask someone where the exhibit is, but I'll look around on my own first. If I can't find it for a while, then I'll ask for help. I start to wander about once inside, looking for anything that I might recognize from Korea. Not surprised, there's plenty of other exhibits that also end up catching my eye. In one section, there was something in my throat. In one section, there's a variety of sea life, fish, turtles, and others, hanging from wires above everything else. It looks so lifelike that I think they're real animals at first, but after staring closely, I can see that they're just models. Another part of the museum is filled with skeletons that look like giant monsters. I can't imagine what kind of creatures they once were. Maybe dragons? Maybe a Durgan? Spotting at the panel with some illustrations I skip over for a quick look. They aren't dragons, but they look awfully close. I've only seen a dragon once or twice in my life, but I've never seen one of these. Other sections are dedicated to human or fabled civilizations. There are recreations of old human houses, as well as diagrams showing fairy homes and werewolf dens, plus plenty of others. A tour guide talks to a small group as I walk about, explaining this and that. Reset my position. I'm sunken to the floor. There we go. That's better. I go slower through this part, feeling a little nostalgic. I even recognize some of the human technology and knickknacks from long ago. I had no idea they were old enough to be part of a museum now. There's even a big memorial to the war, showing humans and fabled fighting against one another. At the front is a painting of when the peace treaty was signed, which was the start of humanity and fabled coexisting. I was around back then, but I stayed out of it, just like I stayed out of most things. Honestly, the history doesn't interest me too much, but I'm sure Juliet would love to see this. I'm sure she already has at some point. Just when I'm thinking of giving up and asking for help, I finally find what I'm looking for. A large banner with some text that I recognize as Hangul, the Korean writing system, is hanging over a number of display cases. Tabletop exhibits. I hurry over to get a closer look. It's quieter up here than it was on some of the lower floors. I'm able to take my time browsing without feeling like I'm getting in anyone's way. At the same time, my heart starts to beat faster with anticipation. I may not know what I'm searching for, but I'm sure I'll know when I see it. I start at the entrance and slowly make my way through. The first section is full of pottery and carvings, like from the brochure Aspen gave me. There are little animals and people carved out of stone, and even a few made of metal. A number of clay pots and vases sit on pedestals next to them. Most are cracked or damaged, but some look good as new. Moving on to the next part, There are a few intricate-looking outfits, adorning mannequins. Some are just pants and a jacket, but most are vividly colored dresses that hang to the floor. I can almost feel the delicate silk in my hands. If I was still a thief, I bet that would sell for a lot. After the clothes and paintings. Tigers and birds are common subjects, but so are people in cities. Others feature glorious landscapes and flowers. I've never been a big fan of art, but somehow these are different. Looking at them doesn't make me sad, but it makes me feel something. Like I'm wanting something I can't have. Suddenly it comes to me. A feeling I've heard about, but I don't think I've ever experienced before. Homesickness. The painting of a green forest could be the one where I was born. I've passed through towns that looked like those in the paintings, and different humans who looked like the ones shown inside them. Not all the memories are good ones, but they're mine. There's not much I can relate to nowadays in terms of people or places. I have friends now, sure, but I don't have much in common with them. That's never mattered before. But now? I wish I could reach out and touch the paintings before me, just to feel something from the same era as me. Of course, they're behind ropes, which keep me well back. I reluctantly start to move on again. Just as I do, a certain painting catches my eye. It's small and displayed out of the way, in a corner, as if nobody thought it was that important. The edges are jagged and torn, but the crucial part is still there. On one side, there's a fox surrounded by trees and leaves. Its fur is a different color than mine, but it's still clearly a fox. Just across from it is a human-like figure. She's dressed in an outfit similar to the ones I was just admiring, but that's not what it stands out most to me. On her head are two pointed ears and several long, bushy tails peek out from the bottom of her dress. When I look at the fox again, I notice that it also has more than one tail. I breathe in deep, as if I could inhale the scent of the forest just from this artwork. Another Gumiho? I take in all the details I can. She's smiling, but a sharp fang makes her smile look sinister. The hand at her side has long claws instead of regular fingernails. Claws that are clearly meant for ripping. Whatever she's looking and smiling at is missing, being part of the torn section. There's just a small part that remains, a pair of boots on the ground, surrounded by the edge of what must be a pool of blood. And then I notice the blood around her lips and on the ground beneath her claws. And then, the unmistakable bone white bead hanging from a string around her neck is glowing like the moon. I instinctively raise my hand to my necklace, feeling my own bead. It's reassuringly warm to the touch. Somehow I get the feeling that the one in the painting would be ice cold. This portrait of a Gumiho leaves me conflicted. There's the same longing I felt looking at the paintings of the forest. But those claws and the blood, those two form and detached. Is this how most people view Gumiho? It would explain the fear and terror that seemed to follow me wherever I went when I was younger. The curses and threats from farmers and town folks whenever they saw me. It wasn't until after the war, when the fable became more common in human lands, that I felt comfortable without my ears and tails hidden. Even then, I'd sometimes get dirty looks just for existing. The threats were usually reserved for when I got caught stealing. Still, I have never been like the Gumiho in the painting. Stealing is one thing, but hurting someone, that just isn't me. I wish I'd been able to explain what did that to them. I wonder how different my life would have been. I turn my eyes away from the paintings, but I know I'll be thinking about it for a long time to come. There's no point dwelling on what could have been. I passed the rest of the Korean exhibit, quickly barely glancing at the artifacts that I haven't seen yet. It isn't until I've nearly left the gallery that I see something that makes me pause again. Oh, they're not there. This one. I delete. No. In a small and unremarkable display case, among many others, there are a number of delicate scrolls. On each one, a few old-style Korean characters are written. I don't think they're Hangul, but I don't know what they're called. They do look familiar, though. I left my own scroll back at home for safekeeping. I don't need it with me to compare. The sweep of the brush strokes, the shape of the characters, the shade of the ink. Closing my eyes and breathing in deeply, I swear I can smell them. My person. I press my hand against the glass. This is the closest I've been in hundreds of years. After centuries of looking, I finally...
Hey, no touching!
I leap backwards as someone shouts. I look around to see a middle-aged woman wearing a badge and museum t-shirt stalking towards me angrily. The instincts I thought I'd buried kick in. I'm to run. Backing up, I look around for a getaway route, but there isn't one. I'm surrounded on almost all sides by cases. The only open direction is the one the attendant is approaching from. Think, Miho. Think. There must be a way out of this. Could I jump over the display? No, they're way too tall. Maybe if I transformed, I could get past the attendant? I have no idea how to navigate this building, though. And being a fox would attract way too much attention in a place like this. If I wait for them to get closer, then I could probably run right past them like the security guard when I first arrived in Wellington. Heart racing, my panic must show on my face. Maybe they stop a couple meters. Because they stop a couple meters away from me, frowning.
Hey, it's not that big a deal. Just please keep your hands off in the future.
With a shrug, they turn around, leaving me alone. That's it? My hands are shaking as I watch them retreat, expecting them to snap around to come after me. Of course, that doesn't happen, and I'm very slowly able to relax. All I'm left feeling afterwards is a lot of embarrassment. Looking around me, I'm glad that there aren't many people in this area. Nobody's looking at me either, whether out of politeness or because they just didn't notice. My face is burning red, and I look down at the scrolls again just to hide it. I sigh. Maybe it was silly for me to think that I could change myself entirely in a short time. Considering I had just been remembering the old days and all the abuse that I went through from humans, that makes some sense. After I settle myself down a little, I turn my attention back to what's more important. Well, I know these scrolls have to be from my person. They don't help me much on their own. There's a little car on one of the corners of the case that's covered in text. It might have something useful written on it, but it doesn't do me any good. I consider trying to copy it all down to have Aspen or Juliet read it to me later, but that's so many words that I'm not sure I can get them all. I gulped, looking at the museum attendant, who I was so scared of just moments ago. I do have one option. Putting all of my courage, I approach them slowly. They're just a regular person, I remind myself. Like Aspen or Juliet. Like me. No, just doing their job.
Excuse me?
Hope that's polite enough. As she looks over to me, her face doesn't look annoyed, more bored.
Can I help you?
I'm sorry for touching the glass. I was wondering if you could tell me a bit about those papers, like, who wrote them.
Like I said, it's no big deal. It's just a safety precaution so nothing gets damaged. Anyway, there's an informational plaque in the corner. It should have all those details.
I can't read. Would they ever believe me if I said I can't read? I worry that might make me even more suspicious.
Can't see very well, and the words are so small. Can you read it for me?
Oh, sure. Let's see.
That was almost too easy. They don't question or analyze me at all. Simply walking over and leaning in next to me.
Says here these were some of the first works by a calligrapher whose name was Jong-in in the 17th century. They were a scholar who lived in Korea.
Yatina keeps reading, but I'm not even listening. I've already gotten what I came for. A name. Jong-in. For the first time, I have something to call them. Something that isn't something that's unmistakably theirs. I pretend to listen to the rest of what's being read out loud, and thank the person on autopilot when they're done. My head's not here in the present moment. It's back in the forest where I was born.
정인.
Once they've walked away, I say it out loud, trying out how it sounds. I think it fits them.
정인. 정인.
I say it over and over again, making sure I'll never forget. Finally, I have something to go off. Feeling a little bit dazed from the enormity of the moment, I find my way back downstairs and wander out the museum. I can't wait to tell Juliet and Aspen. Quicksilver. Hello, Quicksilver. I need to quick dehydrate because we all love hydrating a lot. We'll go your back soon real quick, and we'll, after you dehydrate, get more water. We'll continue with Quicksilver. And we're back. Alright, let's get... Wait, let me just make sure I turn to the super mode off. Oh, wrong button, wrong button! Lol. Super mode off. And we're back. I'm so excited that I end up missing my turn. There we go. Hydrate just for you, Possum. Thanks for the hydrate. I appreciate it. I'm so excited that I end up missing my turn to take me back to the library. Lost in my thoughts about what'll happen when I get back there instead. I don't even realize that I've zoned out until I reach the edge of Mount Victoria. Right where the city's streets turn into parkland.
Oops. Good thing I can find my way back from here.
I'm still within the area that I've visited before, so I'll be able to use the mountains as a landmark to find my way back. I come to myself as I turn back, head abuzz with pleasure, with pleasant thoughts. If I give Juliet my person's name, I'm sure she can help me track them down. That's what she specializes in, after all. And I'm sure Aspen will want to hear all about their life too. She loves stories, and I'm sure Jung-in will have a ton. I'm not sure how they'll feel about seeing me again. I doubt they even expected I doubt they ever expected it to happen. They'll definitely be surprised that I'm not just the fox they met before, but a person now. I have a feeling they'll at least be as glad as I am. I may be halfway home before I realize that I'm not alone. The prickling sensation on the back of my neck is unremarkable, unmistakable. My instincts are telling me that someone else is nearby. I'm still near the mountain, but it's practically empty here. I can hear the sounds of other people in the distance, but they're all hidden by the trees and hills. I whip my head back and forth, but as I try as I might, I can't work out where they are. It's a strange and disconcerting feeling, given how easily I can pick up even the smallest animals. Then, from the corner of my eye, I spot a bush slightly shuffling, just as I turn to take a proper look. The silver fox I saw the other day steps out of it.
Oh, it's just you.
I start to bend down to reach out my hand like I would to pet a dog, but hesitate. I know from experience that a fox wouldn't respond to that. I'm surprised she hasn't run away already. That's what I would have done. She stares at me, without the slightest movement, her eyes locked on mine. My heart jumps on the hairs on my back as the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Something's off. Then, without taking her eyes off me, she starts to transform. I barely have time to be shocked by her as her arms and legs get longer, and her fur retracts. Head shrinks and changes into something more human-like. For the first time in my life, I'm face to face with another Gumiho. My throat tightens and goes dry. My vision narrows, and my ears start to ringing in shock. It's as if all the world has fallen away, except for me and her. The silver and black clothes she's wearing seem to shimmer in the moonlight, like the skin of a snake waiting to strike. Hanging loosely on her frame, the wrapped fabrics around her body and face make her appear almost formless. Her only accessory is a bracelet around her wrist. It's a plain leather band, but a shining white bead is held in the middle by another loop of leather. I recognize that bead. I have one just like it, Well, almost like it. Whereas mine is duller, milky white. Where mine is a duller, milky color. Hers is as bright as it. I can't read. Hers is so bright that it almost hurts to look at it. The soft blue glow around it reminds me of the full moon. It's almost like she stepped out of the painting I just saw at the museum. A shawl covers most of her face, but her hair and eyes are still visible. Those intense eyes. Her gaze reminds me of steel. While they're the same shape as mine, they're sharper and angrier, crueler. She haughtily tosses her long, flowing hair back as she takes a step towards me. I step back, keeping my distance between us. When I lived in the forest, I knew to flee when I met a predator stronger than me. Better to get away alive than risk my life for pride. My survival instincts tell me that this is one of those times. The other Gumiho laughs, but there's no humor in it. Sharp and hollow. It only makes me more uneasy.
So, the human pet still knows when to run. The human... what? Pet. I've been watching you for a while. Ever since you came to this place, actually. Watched you demean and domesticate yourself for the sake of humans. It's pathetic. When you first arrived, I was hopeful that we might be alike. Optimistic, even. I was a fool. I see you now for what you are. Nothing better than a dog, begging for its master's affection and table scraps.
Man, I forgot how different initial Unbi was.
We are not the same. We are nothing alike.
Is that her favorite word? What do you mean? I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Unbi. Her words hang in the air, poisoning my good mood from just moments ago. My first instinct is to run away, as usual. Something stops me, though. I'm entranced. The novelty of this experience of finding another and meeting another Gumiho keeps me rooted in place despite my fear. No matter what she's like, this is the closest I've ever been to someone like me. I swallow the lump in my throat and hope that my voice doesn't shake as much as I think it will.
So what? Did you ambush me just to say that? Ambush? You should have known weeks ago that I was following you. But I repeat myself. You've numbed yourself to your instincts and your potential. I saw you in that place of memories. Saw you gaze upon the portrait of one of our sisters. I hoped that you would open your eyes, as you haven't before. It pains me to see your existence do disservice to our very kind. Now that you have seen what you could and should be, perhaps you can still change yourself, dog. Sharpen your teeth and claws once more. These creatures that you bind yourself to, those human and those not, they are but shackles, slowly squeezing away that which is wild and free in you.
I don't know.
Do not mistake my words for sympathy or pity. I would see you gone from this place.
Wow.
But so long as you remain, your presence is an
Posture
eyesore.
check? Okay.
It pains me to witness.
Posture checking.
Thus, I will do what I must to cure it. as unpleasant a task as it may be. You will never be one of them, no matter how much you might crave it. Better to embrace what you are and can be. Anything else is a waste of your abilities.
She studies me for a moment longer and then turns away. I feel like I should say something, but I can't find the words. Whether from shock or fear, I'm too dazed to I'm so dazed. I'm too dazed to so much as stammer out a denial. Her clothes melt away into silver fur. She transforms back into a fox. I reach out to stop her, but she filts off and disappears into the darkness without a moment's hesitation. The world around me rushes back in. My skin suddenly feels cold in the night air. The rush of emotions going through my head evaporates, and the adrenaline that was running through me ebbs away. I'm left just standing there, alone. Closing my eyes, I mutter the strength that I haven't tapped into in weeks. My bead warms itself as I transform my body, following the same motion as the other Gumihos. I try to start chasing her. My first steps on 4 legs are shaky. I've grown unfamiliar with this form, almost stumbling over just trying to move. Maybe there's a bit of truth in what she said. I take a few more steps towards the brush, but soon give up. Even if I caught up to her, what would I say? What would I do? I'd really make a fool of myself. There's a scent on the wind that I couldn't notice as a human, but it's unmistakable as a fox. I recognized it immediately, from a long time ago, on one of my first mornings here, when I first woke from my den near the mountain. I stepped outside and knew that's when I'd been there. It was her. She really was following me from the beginning. For a long moment, I watched the place where she disappeared, and I transformed back. I don't feel like a fox right now. I don't know what I'm feeling. Some of what she said is true. I haven't used any of my talents in a long time. My clumsiness when I'm in my fox form, my original body, is a reminder of that. But as for degrading myself for the sake of others, it doesn't feel true. I spent my entire life living free, and for only myself, it's always been my choice to remain here. And it's not to be forgotten. So, why do her words sting so much? If I was totally confident in my decision, then they shouldn't bother me. Right? Maybe I've forgotten more of myself than I know. The painting on the museum and the other Gumiho herself both prove that there's something different about me. Something that must come easily to everyone else. The same way all aspects of daily life at home don't come easily to me either. I feel disconnected, torn between two worlds that I barely know. I can't help but be drawn to. Where do I fit in? Where do I belong? I know that Juliet and Aspen would say... I know what Juliet and Aspen would say, but Does that make it true? Their home hasn't been my home for long. I've been a thief and a liar for so much longer than I've been where I am now. Without anything else to gain out of here. Will I start to move away? Make my way back home again. The excitement I felt telling Juliet and Aspen everything I found out at the museum has vanished. I have to wait for another time. After a quiet walk through the empty streets to the library, I quietly slink inside, trying to keep Juliet from noticing. She doesn't feel like talking right now. It seems to work. I can hear her bustling around elsewhere, but she doesn't call out to me when I come in. Without a word, I ascend the stairs to my room as quickly and quietly as I can, and climb under the covers. It's far too early to go to bed, but I don't know what else to do. If I'm awake, my thoughts will be a bother. I can just sleep it off and hope that I'll feel better in the morning. Sadness. We love sadness, don't we? It's great. It is great. Yesterday's events, both the good and the bad, linger in my mind while I perform my usual routine of tossing and turning in bed before I get up. Now that the shock's worn off, I feel a little better about what's happening. I wonder if I'll have forgotten all about the other Gumiho by the end of today. In fact, now that I think about it, it's possible I've met other Gumiho before and just forgot about them. Everyone forgets after meeting me. So maybe it works in reverse too. Rather than dwindle on the idea, I choose to ignore it. There's no way to know, and I just drive myself crazy wondering. Instead, I keep myself busy by making myself more presentable for work. Heading into the bathroom, not the bottom. Heading into the bathroom, I clean myself up using the soap and shampoos given to me by Juliet. She's helped me so much ever since I started working here. Looking into the mirror for one final check before I head downstairs for breakfast, I can't help but think what the other Gumio said. How I've domesticated myself. My spotless face looks back at me, framed by fluffy and pampered hair. I can't deny that I've let myself be spoiled by others, content to just go along for the ride.
Snap out of it, Miho.
I lightly pat my face, like I've seen Aspen do sometimes when she's getting ready to start her own job. I'm not sure what it's supposed to accomplish, but it makes me feel a bit more confident. Heading downstairs, I'm treated to the familiar scent of fresh cut fruit and frying eggs, as well as the pleasant sound of Aspen and Juliet's chattering about books. When I enter the kitchen, I'm greeted with 2 smiles.
Morning, Miho.
Good morning. Good morning. Breakfast will be ready soon.
Boop.
Cool.
I slide into my usual spot at the table and grab some apple slices, munching on them while waiting for the other 2 to get back to their conversation instead. Whoops. Getting back to their conversation. Instead, both of them look at me expectantly.
So, how'd it go?
The museum?
Of course. What else?
Yeah, what else were you talking about?
Was everything all right? When I didn't hear from you last night, I was fearing the worst.
Oh, nah. It was fine. They even had what I was looking for. There were some more scrolls by my person.
There's a loud clatter as Aspen drops her fork in surprise. Even Juliet's eyes go wide with genuine shock.
There were?
Are you sure it was them?
Yep, definitely. I'd recognize that style anywhere. I learned a lot about them.
Woo!
Their name is Chongin, and they're a scholar. I don't know what they study, though. The museum person didn't say.
For a long moment, there's silence. Other than the sound of eggs sizzling in the pan, both my friends just stare at me dumbstruck.
What? What are those looks for?
You seem awfully calm.
Oh,
I assumed you must not have found anything, or you'd have been back immediately.
Yeah, well, there was some other stuff that happened too. I'll tell you about it some other time.
there's no chat. Doesn't know. Chat. She doesn't know. Don't tell him, chat. Don't tell me, oh. I'm watching you. I'm watching you up there. Don't tell her. Don't tell Mimo. Don't do it. Don't tell Mimo, chat, okay? I'm trusting you. I like I forgot it. Chat. I'm watching you. Don't do it. Don't do it, chat. Mimo, listen. No. Possum. No. Bad possum. Bad possum. Bad possum. Bonk. It's tempting to tell them about the Gumiho, if only because I know they'd reassure me about everything she said, but that's why I can't tell them. Not yet. In a way, I'd just be proving her right. Okay, you can tell her that,
alright.
possum. That you can tell her. You can tell her that, possum.
We'll be here whenever you need us.
Thanks. Is breakfast ready?
Yes, just now. Here you go.
Juliet fills our plates and takes her seat, and we all dig in. It's the quieter meal than usual, only the sounds of chewing and silverware scraping against the dishes. I feel Aspen and Juliet are having a conversation. I feel like Aspen and Juliet are having a conversation in their silence. Of course, they'd expect more from me. I expect more from me too. And right after leaving the museum, I was that excited. I was still excited, of course. I am still excited, of course. It's just been tempered a little. I still plan to ask Aspen and Juliet to help me get in touch with Jung-in, but I want to wait until I can do it with a clear head. Once everyone's finished eating, I gather up the dirty dishes, and take them to the sink. While Juliet washes the pans and Aspen wipes down the table, another routine morning.
I'll see you two later. Thanks for breakfast.
My pleasure, as always.
I can't read or talk.
Bye!
Bye! With that, Aspen politely takes her leave and heads out the door. Juliet and I then go into the library, ready to start the day, or end it, in her case. I head to my spot behind the front desk and begin getting everything ready. Check out sheets, my pens and pencils, my study materials, and so on.
Are you all set, Miho?
Yep, I've got everything I need.
Wonderful. Well, I'll leave you to it then. Have a good day.
You too. Sleep well.
Bye, papaya, Juliet. From the way Juliet lingers halfway between me and the stairs, I can tell she wants to say something, or ask something else. She thinks better of it, simply giving me a smile before heading up to her room. I whistle while I throw open the curtains and unlock the door. By the time I return to the counter, ready for the first patrons to arrive, I even managed a light melody. I've been practicing my whistling a lot lately, as a way to spend time all alone. Aspen tries to show me how. Aspen tried to show me how, but she's not really good at it either. I'm pretty sure I'm already better than she is. The sound of it reminds me of the birds back in my home forest. Before long, patrons start to arrive, and I soon have to list things. I have a list of things to do. Books to check in and out, books to return, books to search for. It keeps me good and busy. The hours pass by in blissful normalness. I don't have a single thing to complain about. Alright. What are we doing today? What do we feel like doing? Let's see. I thought that was a different word for a second there. For a half second, I thought that was a different word. Let's go to Mount Victoria. There must be some kind of dog marathon happening, because a ton of people are walking their dogs in the morning, in the mountain today. Not morning, I mean morning mountains. Same thing. In this form, dogs don't usually bother me but for some reason, almost every dog I walk past today tries to stop their owner to sniff at me. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't making me kind of nervous. I don't just ignore them and continue on my way, but after the 10th or so dog tries to physically drag its owner to me, I'm starting to get weirded out. Did someone put a sniff me sign on my back or something? I was switching around, checking to see if anything strange was stuck to me. I remember something in my jacket pocket. Right! I snatched a bunch of beef jerky this morning. How could I have forgotten? A little hiking gift from past Miho. To current Miho. Thanks for the snack! Thank you, Miho. Mimo appreciates it. Mimo, please. Mimo, please. Mimo, please. Why? Why you a bean? Why you such a bean? Why Mimo such a bean? It's a rainy Thursday morning, and the library is as dead as I've ever seen it. Even Aspen didn't come by this morning, simply because she didn't want to get soaked. We'll see each other later instead. Mimo, such a bean. Yes. We did the gush. We got a gush, don't worry. The only patrons here are the ones who don't mind the weather, so I have to make sure they don't drip on any of the books. Before she went to bed for the day, Juliet left a bundle of towels near the door for anyone who needs one. Oh, it's the water dude time. It's Waterman time, right? Waterface. At least it makes my work easier. And the slow day means I have extra time to study. I'm able to remember most of the letters by now, and even reading a few words. I haven't told Juliet or Aspen about my progress because I want to surprise them with it later. After an hour or so, I set aside my pencil and gaze out the window, my chin resting on my palm.
Huh. It stopped.
It's still cloudy outside, but the worst of the rain seems to be over. I get up and walk to the window, looking around at the soggy view. I lean backwards and surprised that something suddenly splats against the glass in front of me.
Whoa!
At first, it looks like a puddle of water that's stuck to the window, but it starts to wiggle. I stare in confusion as a pitiful-looking face forms in the middle and frowns at me. Suddenly, it hits me. It's what I'm looking at. This must be a water elemental. I've never seen one for myself before now. They usually hang out in the rivers or lakes, but I've heard they'll sometimes come up onto dry land when it's raining. That must be what this one did. Now that it stopped raining though,
Oh no, you could dry up.
just like a fire elemental can die if its flame goes out, a water elemental like this, could be in trouble if it doesn't stay wet. The weather might still be damp, but the sun is starting to poke through the clouds.
Okay, wait right there. I'll go find something.
I don't know if you can understand me or even hear at all, but I wave at the window and hold up one finger to show that I'll be right back. After a quick peek to make sure there's no patrons waiting, I hurry to the kitchen and dig through the cabinets, hoping to find a pot or something that's big enough. The biggest one Juliet has is the one that she uses to make pasta. And even that might be too small, as I'm not sure she wants the taste of water elemental to be there every time she tries to make a spaghetti.
Where
A sketty.
else?
A sketty. I could just wake Juliet up and ask her, but I should really try to solve this myself before bothering her. Instead, I start hunting through the other rooms for something that might help. Something in the bathroom, or in the library area. When I check the dining room, for a second time, however, I notice a big bowl on top of the shelf that I haven't seen before.
Perfect.
I sit on one of the chairs to reach it, but I grab the bowl and fill it halfway full of water with tap water before hurrying back to the window. The elemental is still stuck there, like a very sad bumper sticker. It almost looks like it almost looks a little smaller. It ripples with excitement when it sees me, its frown shifting to a watery smile. I head out the front door and skip around to the window, squelching through the wet grass as I do.
Here you go. Come on.
Holding the bowl up to the window, I gently brush the elemental in. To my surprise, it doesn't feel like touching regular water. Instead, it's thicker and a bit sticky, like jelly. The elemental starts to slide the bowl in bubbles, which I hope is a good sign. It didn't mix with the water in the bowl, but instead kind of hovers with water above and below it. When it gets itself fully in the bowl, it almost fills it up. The water splashes over the edge and onto my hands, leaving the bowl almost dry except for the elemental itself. The bubbles stop, and an uncertain looking face peers at me from the bottom.
Alright. Let's get you inside and figure something else out.
I hold the bowl as steady as I can and try not to spill any more as I go back to the library. Just like the guests at the library, I have to make sure not to get any of the books wet. There's an empty side table on one of the reading chairs, so I set the bowl down there. The elemental seems fine for now, but it looks worried again. It reminds me of Aspen.
I'm not sure what else to try.
I rack my brain trying to think of something I might have missed in the bathroom or kitchen.
Wait! That bathroom! That's it!
I kneel down in front of the bowl and try to reassure the elemental, which is doing its best to stay absolutely still and not splash.
Okay, don't go anywhere. If you even can.
Yeah, it can't go anywhere. Miho, I can't move. It's up in a bowl. Running to the bathroom, I plug up the bath and set the faucet to max.
This ought to work for a bit.
Leaving the water running, I go back and retrieve the bold element. This time I end up spilling more of the water, but luckily it only hits the ground. The tub is almost halfway full by the time I get back, which should be perfect. I turn off the faucet and carefully pour the elemental in.
How's that?
There's a stream of excited bubbles.
Cool. Sit tight, and I'll find something we can use to get you back to the river.
More bubbles. Quickly, but not in as big of a rush as before, I go to resume my search on the second floor. Because this place is so big, there are still a few rooms that I've never seen. I'm pretty sure Juliet wouldn't mind me going in since I'm trying to help someone out. The first room that I try is a closet filled with towels and bed sheets and laundry stuff. Not very useful. The room after that is locked.
That's weird.
I tried the knob again in case it was just stuck.
Nope, definitely locked.
Oh well. I wonder what's in there. I've never paid much attention to that door before, since it's so far from my room. Drop it on all fours and see under the door. But it's too narrow to see anything. Why the fuck? Okay, this is... Just cleans my neck. Just realized that. Really exciting. Another nearby door isn't locked. And even better, it isn't a closet. Aside from the doorway, which isn't particularly bright, it's pitch black. When I step inside, I flick on the light switch, but the bulb fizzles and dies right away. It only takes a moment for my eyes to adjust to the darkness, and what had at first just been dark smudges turned out to be a bunch of boxes and assorted junk. A storage room. The whole place is covered in dust. I guess Juliet doesn't come in here either. Taking... I'm gonna change. It feels weird, just like only my neck moving. This is weird. Creepy. Oh, where's VC face? A second. I fix this thing. I wonder why the thing wanted me to turn off spine and back tracking. Oh well. This feels a lot better and less weird. Oh, I didn't turn it on. Whoops. There it is. This whole place is covered in dust. I guess Juliet doesn't come in here either. Peeking into one of the boxes filled with old kids' toys like dolls and stuffed animals. Another one has folded up clothes. Just as I'm about to give up and try another room, a half-covered object in the corner catches my eye. A heavy blanket is draped over a glass box, which is full of more random junk. I haul it all out and move the blanket, smiling at my find. It's a big fish tank, just like the ones I saw at the museum.
Score!
Yes. Did it. We found a thing. We found a thing! After turning it over to shake out as much dust and debris as I can, I triumphantly take the tank to the kitchen sink and rinse it out before hauling to the bathroom.
Look what I found!
When I set the tank on the edge of the tub, the elemental floats up to the top of the bath and ripples. It takes some maneuvering to hold the tank under the faucet, but eventually I'm able to figure it out and fill it up. Then I use the bowl from before to scoop up the elemental and dump it into the tank.
Perfect, right?
More ripples and bubbles.
Okay, let's get you to the river.
I run my arms around the fish tank and lift. And nearly tear my arms off. That's heavy.
Heavy!
I didn't notice when I was just getting the tank set up, but with all that water in it, it weighs a ton. It's way too heavy for me to carry on the front door, much less all the way to the river.
This could be a problem.
It seems so perfect, so lucky. Even for dumping out some of the water, I still can't carry it. Sitting down on the tile floor, I sigh. The elemental floats dejectedly.
Miho? What's going on? I heard the sinks and bathtub running.
Juliet is standing in the doorway. I look up, wearing a look of concern on her face.
Hey!
Nothing weird happening here. Nothing sus. Nothing at all.
It was raining earlier, right? Well, there was this water elemental in the window. I tried to bring it inside so it wouldn't dry up while I worked out how to get it back to the river, but now I can't carry this huge fish tank that I found.
A fish tank? Where'd that come from?
It was in one of the storage rooms, along with a bunch of kids' stuff. I'm guessing they came from the library's children's section.
Juliet purses her lips, and I feel my heartbeat start to quicken like it always does when I'm in trouble.
Sorry if you didn't want me to go in there. I didn't know what that room was or what I was even looking for until I found the tank.
Miho! Voice acting is great. We love the voice acting. So great. We appreciate the voice actors in this game and all Studio Lane games and in general. Voice actors are cool. They have great jobs. We appreciate them. Look at them go.
I didn't look inside the locked room though.
Juliet's frown deepens, but it doesn't look like she's angry, more like she's sad?
No need to apologize. You've done nothing wrong. Although...
I wait for her to finish her sentence, but it doesn't happen.
Although...
Never mind. It's nothing. Let's focus on helping our friend here first.
She reaches into the tank and scoops a handful of the water before dripping it back onto the floating elemental. The creature seems to enjoy it, as much as I can tell.
Any ideas?
An
Yes,
idea
yes.
comes to mind
Mother
after you
mode.
mentioned that storage room. I'll be right back.
It's time for motherly activities.
Okay.
She's not mad, just disappointed. I sit back and relax as Juliet departs. I'm glad she doesn't get upset. She didn't get upset after all, but something was definitely bugging her. I wonder what it was. After a couple of minutes, I pick up the sound of something rolling down the stairs. I stand up and poke my head out the door. It's about Juliet pulling a red wagon behind her. It has a rope handle, and it isn't very large, but should have more than enough space for the tank.
Whoa, you're a genius!
With a smile, Juliet parks the wagon next to the bathtub.
As I said, you were the one who gave me the idea. Would you mind helping me lift it onto the wagon?
Sure.
We each take one end and carefully move the tank. Juliet also brought a number of 3 straps to help keep it in place. With us all set up, the elemental is safe and secure. I kneel down, get my face level with the glass.
How do you like that?
This time, the elemental shifts into the biggest grin I've ever seen.
Looks like we've got a winner.
Wonderful. If I watch the library, would you mind taking it back home? You're welcome to borrow an umbrella.
No problem. Be back soon.
Smiley. Taking a towel and umbrella for myself. On the front door, I lead the elemental outside and onto the path. Cloudy out, and more gray than blue. At least it's not raining right now. Still, I don't want to waste my time.
Is anywhere in the river okay?
The elemental bobs up and down.
I know just the place then.
The muddy path slows down, and the wagon slows on the wagon for a bit, but it isn't too bad. When we get downhill, I have to be careful not to let it go out of control. Other than that, it's pretty easy. On the bottom of the hill, it's not too far to the spot I had in mind. And it was a small, abnormal ramp into the river, way back when I was still living in the woods. It wasn't useful to me then.
Don't know why anyone built this place, but it sure worked out for me.
Kneeling near the bottom of the ramp, I wrap the wagon's rope around my wrist to keep it from rolling away. Then undo the straps on the tank. With both hands, I gently tilt the tank onto its side. The water and elemental spill out, flowing down the dirty concrete and onto the river. Into the river, not onto, into. The water begins to churn immediately, bubbling as if something huge is coming to the surface. A rushing sound echoes from the empty area, before a torrent of water suddenly shoots upwards like a fountain, arcing clear over me. As I look up, I see the elemental shimmering into the water, catching the light from the sun. For one brief moment, the most beautiful, vivid rainbow I've ever seen hovers over me, so close that I could touch it. Then the water and elemental crash down into the river, and everything goes still. I smile, certain that I understand.
You're welcome.
Where do I want to go this time? Let's see. Rain, come back. Rainy morning puts an unlucky water elemental into a sticky situation. Yes, it does. Bro, these chapter cards. Let's go to the cafe. An employee I don't recognize is working on the counter today at the cafe. She has her name with a terse but polite smile and bags under her eyes. She must have come in early or something. I mumble my name for her absent-mindedly and walk off to find a seat. Fairy kiss chiller from Mimo. That's where this is from. Fairy kiss chiller from Mimo. Fairy kiss chiller for Mimo? I glance around, but everyone seems firmly situated with their drinks and phones, and not a soul stirs at the order being called. When my eyes sweep over the employee, she's desperately trying to lock eyes with me. Huh? Me? I'm Mimo? Feeling a little dazed, I take the drink from the employee and she thanks me and nods. So this is my drink after all. I look at the unfamiliar letters on the cup. That was assuredly say Mimo. Mimo. That's a new one. Explore. Explore. Mimo. Mimo. Explore. Rose-colored days. Okay, it's time. It's almost time to be sad. It's almost time to be sad, mouse. All day it's been showering and on and off. Raindrops still pattered on the rooftop, even now. At least the frogs outside are comfortable, happily croaking away in the night. To stave off the cold, I keep a warm blanket wrapped around me while I sit and watch TV. I don't really understand all the complicated things and the presenters are talking about, but it's interesting to see their reports from all around the world. My ears prick up as I hear someone walking up to the door. A series of 3 knocks, gently ring out against it. Always 3 from Juliet.
Yeah? I'm making some tea. Would you care to join me? I can make some hot chocolate as well.
Sure. Be right down.
A warm drink sounds nice right now. Not wanting to leave my cozy blanket, I had to hold it tightly around myself and waddle down to the kitchen. The stairs prove a little difficult, but I manage. I'm waddling with my blanket. There are already 2 mugs sitting on the table when I arrive, and the kettle is already steaming. As I take my seat, Juliet pours boiling water into each cup.
You knew what I was gonna say before you even asked me, huh?
I had a feeling, yes.
She pushes my mug against the table, and my hands peek out my blanket and cradle it. Happy for the warmth, I hold the mug for a while before tasting the steaming hot chocolate inside.
I like the hot chocolate you make even better than the stuff at the Bell House.
Hot chocolate.
Why, thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Although I imagine Aspen wouldn't be.
Hot cocoa.
Do you ever go there? Now that I think about it, I'm surprised we've never gone together.
We
Sound
haven't.
kind of a problem.
Well, why don't we change that sometime then? Perhaps we can meet Aspen for breakfast there instead. It has been a while since I've stopped by.
Sure! I've never gotten any food from there. Only drinks.
You're in for a treat then. They serve delicious pastries and sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
There's a particular one that I know Aspen enjoys. Although, I can't remember what it was.
That's okay. I'm sure I'll be fine with anything they have. I can't remember the last time I tried something that I didn't like.
That must come in handy when traveling the world so much, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Can't afford to be picky when you don't know the next time you'll even have options.
Have you found a favorite food? Or type of cuisine that you most enjoy?
Not really. Most of the time I just eat junk food or leftovers. Not really anything fancy.
Understandable. If there's ever a certain dish or meal that you'd like to try, it would be my pleasure to help make that happen. Perhaps we could even learn to cook it here at home, so you could have it any time.
That's fun. We love cooking.
Sure!
I toss that onto the mental pile of, if there's ever anything that Juliet offers me, I know that she means well, but at this point, I can't remember everything she said that about. The two of us continued to chat for a while, and I recount the full days of events with the elemental and to Juliet, wrapping up my story at the point where I came home from the river.
Oops! That reminds me. I never put away the wagon. Let me know where it goes, and I can take it upstairs when I go back to my room.
Wagon? Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
Juliet quickly looks away, taking a sponge and busying herself cleaning some loose sugar off the counter. It's obvious that something's off. Yeah, the sugar. We're getting it off the table. Duh. Duh. I'm not sure what it is, or what to do. It's so rare that Juliet's the one who seems uncomfortable. In fact, this is the only time I can think of. Other than when I first met her, of course. When I sort of tried to steal that painting.
By the way, who does all that stuff belong to? The wagon and the toys, that is. Were they part of the library children's section before or something?
No, they were personal possessions, not part of the library.
Oh, like from when you were a kid? I'm surprised you managed to keep them for that long then.
No, not my childhood.
Huh?
The sponge stops moving. Juliet's shoulders slump as she gives up trying to work. I feel a little bad for making her act so oddly.
If you don't want to talk about it, that's totally fine. Sorry. I didn't know it was sensitive. I'm really, really sorry.
It's fine. You couldn't have known. Besides, perhaps it's only right that you know.
Know what?
She turns back towards me, taking a breath, before she continues. Her eyes don't look at me, though. They're looking past me.
Do you remember when, several weeks ago, I told you that I met someone who...
Yeah.
Whoopsies.
Well, her
Whoa.
name... My daughter... Do you remember when, several weeks ago, I told you that I met someone who changed my life? Someone who made me want to be a better person?
Yeah.
Well, her name... My daughter's name... is Cosette.
You have a daughter?
Settings, where are you? Text. Auto delay. On yet, almost.
Yes.
The next day it
And
happened.
she's been the biggest blessing in my many, many years of life. Although she's not of my own flesh and blood, she was my child.
Ear wiggle? Okay, give me a second as it
I
pause
found her on my
autoplay.
doorstep one morning,
Boop, boop,
tucked into
boop.
a basket with a
Here we go.
blanket and scarf around her. It was cold that morning. So very cold.
A lot harder to wiggle them in this than V-Magic. Yeah. Gotta have people from the side, yeah, yep. Cute ear wiggles. It's a lot harder to wiggle them in VC face for some weird reason than it is on V-Magic Mirror, which I usually use. I'm only using VC face for the fun tossing with tits. It's integration where it actually just impacts the model. Anyways, back to some sad story.
When I opened my door and saw the silent bundle there, I feared that she was dead. But she was not. She was so very alive and, despite the cold, so very, very warm.
Waits too long.
She was barely a year old, if that. Yet she didn't cry. She could have been there all night for all I knew, but she never uttered a sound.
Oh, save current. Whoops. I'm going to save them. I was going to save options every time you
I
edit
brought her
them.
inside, of course, just so she wouldn't freeze.
Always forget.
Beyond that, I was panicked and confused. I'd never wanted a human child. I didn't even know how to raise one. To this day, I don't know why whoever abandoned her chose my doorstep to leave her on. Of all places. But how wonderfully, impossibly lucky I was.
I'm very nitpicky about this for some fucking reason. I don't know why. It's great. We love this. We love being
Because she
nitpicky about
didn't
auto
cry,
settings.
I thought she might be
They're
mute.
just clicking.
But that wasn't the case. She had a great deal to say. And as she got older, she would talk and talk. Every word was like music, a melody to my ears only. I felt so fortunate, and so unprepared. I suddenly had the life and well-being of another in my own hands. Her future, her everything. It was a responsibility I had never asked for, and likely would have never asked for if my life hadn't changed that day. She grew and grew, from a curious baby to precocious child, then to a confident young lady, and finally to a lovely woman. I couldn't have been more proud as a mother. Every graduation, every breakup, every smile and tear changed my life. As my daughter, of course it would be true to say that I raised her, but it was mutual. She also made me into the person I am today.
Oh, water boy, shut off. Once Juliet finishes speaking, I let out a breath I don't remember holding. Just as when she first started speaking, her gaze is still fixed on the empty wall, somewhere above my head. Just like when Aspen gets stuck in one of her books, I can tell that Juliet's mind is somewhere else entirely.
The moment that I resolved to raise her, I promised that I would do all in my power to make the world Cosette lived in, grew up in, a better one that I had experienced. The moment that I resolved to raise her, I made a promise to myself and to her. A promise that I would do all in my power to make the world Cosette lived in, grew up in, a better one that I had experienced. That I would show her how to find the beauty and the joy in all things dark and terrible. In a sense, I ceased to exist as a single person. My life was no longer my own. It was tied, forever and always, to another.
So, all those toys and things.
Yes, the treasures and mementos of another life. Of happy days filled with laughter, of scraped knees and tummy aches, of heartbreak and homecomings. I keep them there as not simply a reminder, but a tribute to those times.
Wow. I would have never guessed any of that. I never knew you were a mom.
Gaze returns to me, to the world that we're in now. She gives a small smile, but it looks fragile.
Well, I suppose it's not something I speak of very often.
Does she live here in Wellington? Could I meet her?
Oh, mijo. You poor, poor soul. Juliet regards me with a strange look, similar to earlier with the elemental. Not that she looks angry. But she's thinking about something very hard. Stare back, not sure what else to do or what I could have said wrong. Like always, her expression soon softens.
She is in Wellington, yes. A bit of a walk, but not too far. You can go in the morning if you'd like. It's been a little while since I have.
Sure, fine by me. I guess it is getting kind of late for a visit, huh?
Focus me with it. Yes, 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 yes.
It is indeed. Speaking of which, I actually have some business I must tend to myself. Will you be alright on your own, Miho?
Oh, yeah, of course. Don't worry about me.
Have a good night then. See you in the morning.
See you! I'll be ready to go first thing.
As Juliet leaves, I watch her go. It might just be me, but it seemed like she left in a hurry after saying all that. Maybe she and Cosette had an argument about something? Or maybe she just doesn't want me to meet the other person in her life. I'm probably just imagining it. The way that she talks about Cosette is so different to the way I've heard Juliet talk about anything or anyone else. I can tell she cares a lot about her. Hopefully it'll make more sense tomorrow. I forget to meet her. When I finally decide to head up to my room, I take the wagon back first. As promised. I have to pick it up and carry it to get up the stairs, but fortunately it's not that heavy. Even with my blanket. I forgot you still bundled in the blanket. That's even with my blanket bunched up inside. Once I get to the second floor, I put it down and drag the rest away to the storage room. After pushing the wagon into its empty spot, I take a proper look around now that I know what this room actually contains. More than just toys. I also spot racks of clothes and stacks of books and all kinds of other belongings. The whole room is pretty packed. Slowly making my way back to the door, I carefully maneuver between a rocking horse and a dollhouse, taking care not to step on anything or knock it over. Taking one last peek around before I head to my room, I get the feeling that there's nothing missing from Concept's childhood in here. I can't say for sure, but it certainly seems like Juliet hasn't let anything go. I need to quickly dehydrate myself again, because I just keep drinking water because I don't talk as much ever in normal life, so I need to go do the dehydration. We love this. Be back in a hot second. And we're back. Alright, guys. Ready for Spain without the S? Ready for Spain without the fucking S? I am. I love Spain with no S. Copium, 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 copium. Alright. Saved. Checking, yes. The morning air is fresh and crisp. The plants around us look healthier from the drink last night. A handful of small puddles here and there are all that remain from yesterday's rain, likely to be completely dried up in a few hours. Why is my phone turned off? I moved off the stream, that's why. No, it's on the stream. It just turned off. As I stand by the front door of the library, Juliet walks up beside me and unfolds her parasol, bringing it over her head.
Shall we depart? It's about a 30-minute walk from here, so perhaps we'll take a ride back once we're done.
Yes. We will take a ride back. No other way of getting back.
Yep. Will you be okay in the sun with that?
Yes. It's still early enough that I don't need to worry too much.
That's good to hear, Juliet. That's good to hear.
Lead on then.
Okay. I forgot how many emotions are in this one single fucking chapter of 3. Stepping out into the brilliant morning, I stretch and roll my shoulders. It's a nice day out. Not too cold, not too hot. As always, Juliet's steps are measured and even she walks. Her parasol bobs with each step, making it look like she's wearing a big hat from this angle. I smile at myself at that image and skip along beside her. Even with protection from the sun, it's rare to see Juliet out in the daylight.
So, I was wondering something. If your daughter lives so close, then why doesn't she come to visit more often? I've been here for a couple months now.
Although she clearly hurt me, Juliet doesn't answer. Maybe it's too personal a question? Because things are tense between them? I've never seen Juliet answer one of my questions before, so I don't push it. Juliet remains quiet as we keep walking. That isn't unusual for her, but I still feel a little awkward. I can't read. And reading is important for this section.
Sorry if I shouldn't have asked that.
No, it's all right. You'll see when we get there, though.
Okay.
We head in a direction that I haven't explored before. We're in the same area as the gardens, but not quite the same spot. A massive green hill watches over us from one side, while trees blanket the other. After crossing a small bridge that runs over the highway, we reach another beautiful area. The concrete path we walked along is lined with bushes and flowers, and the occasional decorative lamps. There are a few houses peeking through the trees, which ring the area, but most of the field is still covered in nature.
Whoa. Are we getting close?
Yes, we're very nearly there. This is Bolton Street Park.
She's pretty lucky to live in a place like this, huh?
Even as a child, Cosette had an affinity for the woods and trees.
I get that. I'll bet she would love to be able to turn into a bat or a fox.
I'm taken off guard by Juliet letting out a great laugh. I don't think I've ever seen her like this. A little giggle or barely chuckle from time to time. Sure, but never anything so relaxed and sincere. A grin spreads on her face just from watching her.
Yes, I think you're right about that.
There are only a handful of houses around the park, so I wonder which one is Cosette's. Time and time again, we walk on past the turns which lead to another of them. Just as I start to wonder where it is we're going, Juliet slowly comes to a stop. The main path forks into two here. The one to our left, a well-trodden dirt path. There's a sign, but I can't quite read the writing yet.
Everything okay? We're not lost, are we?
Heavens, no.
A number of tall trees shade the path that we're on, giving enough protection for Juliet to slide her parasol shut. She takes a deep breath, a deep, silent breath, then smiles and gestures down the offshoot before us.
It's right this way. Just a little further.
Nodding, I follow again as she leads us onward. Right away I notice that something is a little bit off. Juliet's steps are slower and a bit more uneven. Like she doesn't want to go wherever we're going. After a few minutes of walking in silence, she takes one last long turn off from the path we were on, leading me up to a small hill dotted with trees. Once we reach the crest, Juliet comes to a stop. So confused, I step up beside her.
Here we are.
Huh? I don't see. Oh.
In the shade of one of the trees is a gray stone monument. Its edges are rough and torn from time, but it's spotlessly clean. There are others like it nearby, practically identical. Words are carved into the stone, too small for me to read easily. I've never visited before, but I realize what this place is. I silently mouth the letters, the words on top, even though I'm pretty sure I know what it's going to say. There's a C, and then an O, and then an S. Closet's grave is preserved perfectly. I'm sure Juliet wouldn't stand for anything else.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
It's okay, Miha. I'm aware you didn't know, but I wanted you to.
Turn to the grave, gently running a hand over the curved stone.
My beautiful, precious daughter passed away years ago. Almost 2 decades by now.
Pick something real quick before it ruins the mood.
She lived a long, full life and spent her final moments with those she loved. The last words she told me, the last words she ever said to me.
Juliet's shoulders shake without a sound as I stand there, helplessly. She shudders as she takes a deep breath.
Were that she couldn't have been happier.
What was she like?
She was so many things that it's almost impossible to answer. I think you would have liked her. I'm sure she would have loved you. She was adventurous and free, sometimes stubborn to a fault. Once her heart was set on something, there was no stopping her. Everything she did vividly, to the fullest. Even if the very laws of existence told her something was impossible, she would try anyway. She was endlessly kind, with compassion for every living thing, from the smallest insect to the largest, most ferocious beast. She saw the value in all of them.
She gives a small smile. She looks at me, and as tears well in her eyes, I go up to try and force down my own emotions.
You should have seen her as a child. She would talk your ear off. Both of them if you'd let her. There wasn't a single person near us who didn't know who she was. So open and free was she. That warmth and care. It was the core of her life. If she saw someone in need, she would rush to their aid. It just naturally came to her. If you or I see someone hurting, we may choose to help. For Cosette, it wasn't a choice. It was simply who she was. To know her was to adore her. Every day that went by, I was more and more proud of her. Those virtues never faded a bit. Even on her last day, she was worried for me more than anything. I promised her that I would...
Juliet sobs, dragging her hand across her face. All I could do is watch. My own emotions a storm that tosses me in all directions. The pain in Juliet's shaky voice is enough to make my own breath tremble. But beyond that, there's something else. Something eating at me that I don't want to acknowledge. Juliet turns back towards the grave, taking a couple of steps closer, unfurling her parasol, holds it over her shoulder like a shield, guarding herself against the sunlight. She was also able to stand a little straighter.
I promised her that I would live as she did, to honor her memory with kindness and with virtue and with compassion and patience for all. That I would ensure her legacy lived on in the many lives she had touched. It was only in the days that followed her passing, as I wandered lost and alone, that I truly began to understand how much she had saved my own life. The gift she gave me was something I'd never had before. Purpose. How very silly and irrelevant things such as wealth and prestige began to seem after that. Those were fleeting concepts, born of some misplaced need or desire. There was something that could be much greater. Something well beyond money and power. Love. As a word, it's difficult to understand. To hear the poets speak of it, there's nothing mightier and nothing softer. Love was either everything or it was nothing. It always seemed so trite, so immature. An attempt to create meaning where there is none. And yet, I've found that the poets were right. They were so right.
Oh shit. Fuck. Already control, it's a skip button. Fuck you, game. Fuck you, controller. Fuck you, keyboard. Running the mood. Damn it. Where the fuck was I? Shit.
Shall we depart?
Fuck. I'm sad, I ruined the mood by accident.
There is pain. To watch someone you love grow up is beautiful. To watch them grow old. Cosette lived into her 80s. A good, long life for a human. Even as her flesh started to fail her, her mind never did. She was sharp as a sword and quick as a fox. For a human, there is no kinder, gentler end than that of old age. And every day, I'm thankful that Cosette was one of those lucky ones. To slip away peacefully and painlessly. As I held that soft, shaky hand for the last time, I wished desperately that I could trade places with her. I would have done anything to give her just one more day, but there was nothing to be done. Cosette passed on with no regrets, and a smile on her face. She lived as full a life as any human could live. And when she was gone, I was still there. My flesh not a day older than when I met her. It was then that I realized what a cruel gift immortality could be. What a slow, repetitive torture if I chose to let it. So for the sake of Cosette's memory, and of the promise I made, I swore that I would continue to live as I had not lived before. For virtue, for friendship, for others, for tomorrow. To die is human. To live is a privilege.
With absolute clarity, the storm inside me calms to pass through its eye. There's a sense of finality in Juliet's words, which leaves them ringing in my ears as I stumble backwards, without thinking about it. To die is human. All humans. Was that someday Aspen. But also in mine. My person. Understanding hits me like an arrow to the heart. I can barely notice the look of surprise on Juliet's face as I transform, turning tail and fleeing into the forest. My person, the one I've searched for my entire life, is dead too. Long dead. No matter what happened after they left the forest, the nature of their human lifespan means that they lived lifetimes ago. Generations ago. As I run farther and farther away, one thought echoes above the others. All this time, all these years, all these decades, they've been for nothing. I take my claws just with every step, tearing at the roots and leaves. I do know the nature. I do the name of the feeling pulling and tugging at me, the one that I've taken over, Juliet, as we stood there, one that I've heard of, but never felt until now. Grief. Every lie, every theft, every struggle, every hardship, everything. For nothing. That word swirls in my head, a dying leaf, drifting towards the ground, falling, and powerless to stop itself. Finally, I come to a stop, not even knowing where I am, or how long I ran. I stop. When I lose the will to run anymore, I transform back onto my knees. Every decision I've made, every place I've gone, it's all been in service of one dream. For time I grew to rely on it. I didn't even have to think or make a difficult decision for myself. Instead, it was like I had a path to follow. However long. But that path wasn't actually leading me anywhere. All it did was take me far away. Leave me on my own. Rising to my feet, I look around the area. Although the trees and the slopes remind me of Mount Victoria, I don't recognize it at all. Juliet's nowhere to be seen. Sprawling sunlight means she couldn't join me here even if she wanted to. Even if she found me. I wonder if she's looking. Juliet, who always seemed so calm and put together. Behind that mask, she was hiding all those feelings. What else did I know about her? What else has she been keeping to herself? Is it just more pain? An ice-cold chill runs down my spine, making me shudder as I realize something else. She must have known that my person was dead. She must have figured it out right away. Yet she never told me. It's been too suddenly. Every pained look or topic change whenever I brought up Jong-in makes sense. They both knew and were hiding it from me all along. This whole time, let me go on and get my hopes up without ever stopping me or telling the truth. It was so simple too. So obvious. If I just thought about it for a bit myself, I'd have realized that humans live and die much faster than my kind do. Sighing, I sit down on the grass, wrap my arms around my knees, and mash one palm into my eyes to wipe away the tears that are there.
Stop crying, Mio.
A few deep breaths, I managed to fight away the stinging pressure and keep myself from breaking down even more. I sigh again. I'm certain it won't turn into a sob. Now that the initial shock has worn off, the pain in my heart has gone from a sharp stab to a dull throb. Aside from pure survival instinct, death has always been distant and faceless to me. And now I have to look it in the eye. My time with Jong-in was short, thousands of times shorter than the time I've spent looking for them since then. Still, it was all I had. Where do I even go from here? But it's getting higher, so Juliet must have made her way home by now. She might even be waiting for me to come back. We both know I have to at some point. It's getting hotter for me too. Shakily, I rise to my feet and look around again. Actually trying to get my bearings. If I have to, I can just go back in the direction I came from until I find somewhere familiar. I start walking back towards the library. It's the only place I have to go. I may think of it as home for now, but I can't help but picture Juliet's sobbing face. Immortal or not, there has to come a time, someday, where we don't see each other. And that will be the end of our memories together. Or at least her memories of me. Same goes for Aspen, as mortal as Cosette. Or just resigning myself to feeling that pain again someday, potentially even stronger. Maybe she was right, the other Gumiho. Maybe I don't belong anywhere. By the time I get back to the library, I'm excited. I'm exhausted.